So in the last class, what we have seen is that we have seen some characteristics of low pass filter, high pass filter, band pass filter and band reject filter. And this four type of filter we have seen for the FIR domain, finite impulse response domain, means the magnitude that we have chosen, that is hz or he to the power j omega, that was a finite sequence. And also we have seen that if we can able to design a low pass filter, from that low pass filter we can get the high pass as well as band pass and band reject. So for from low pass to high pass, make z value by minus z and multiply low pass and high pass, you will get band pass, and in the opposite you will get band reject. So that we have seen in the last class. So today we will check some IIR filter, that is the infinite impulse response filters characteristics, and that will check for that we will check for high pass, low pass, band pass and band reject. So basically IIR low pass filter is defined a simple response by 1 plus Z inverse by 1 minus alpha Z inverse. Now matter is that 1 plus Z inverse, the numerator, basically defines your FIR low pass filter. Now that response, to make the FIR to the IIR, what you need to do, you need to add the poles, because whenever you are adding poles, impulse response Hz becomes an infinite response. That impulse response Hz becomes the infinite response. If you simply multiply or simply write the Hz equal to xz by yz, so you can see that y is dependent on the future value also. Means if we want to calculate yn, that will be dependent on yn plus 1 also, like that. So that response will give you an infinite response. So that filter will be defined as the infinite impulse response filter, and we will check that this filter is a low pass filter. Now matter is that before starting the filter class, I have told you that all the filter response must be stable. So that filter must also be stable, and condition is that that filter will be stable only when the value of alpha is less than 1. Why? Why? Simply the pole, if we consider for this case, is alpha, and if we consider the ROC of this system, ROC is given alpha greater than equal to uh, sorry mod z greater than equal to alpha. So all of you know the Z transform. So if you simply make calculate the ROC, that is the denominator, that is must be greater than equal to 0. So from here you can see that mod Z must be greater than equal to alpha. So that will be your ROC. So that is your ROC when this value is alpha. So obviously that system will be stable only when the ROC will contain a unit circle. So if this is a unit circle, that will be 1. So ROC must, the unit circle must be within the ROC. So I am drawing a unit circle within the ROC. So if this need to be satisfied, then the value of alpha must be less than 1. Okay. So whenever we will design a low pass filter, infinite impulse response low pass filter, whatever the poles we will get, that must be less than 1. Okay, so that is one characteristics that must be satisfied. And to do that, or to simply satisfy that characteristics, you need to add another neutralizing parameter with that response. And the neutralizing parameter you need to add in that way that first you will calculate the DC component, or simply the DC coefficient of the filter given here. The DC coefficient of the filter is, for this case, 1, for this case 1, for this case 1, and for this case minus alpha. So DC coefficient is 1 plus 1 by 1 minus alpha. Okay, and keep in mind, for IIR filter, that will be multiplied by plus 1. Whatever the Z components you will have, all the Z components will be multiplied by plus 1 for IIR low pass filter. Whenever we will consider high pass filter, that will be multiplied by minus 1. Means what? If we have a system like that, 1 plus Z inverse minus 2Z to the power minus 2 plus 3Z to the power minus 3, if it is like that, and 1 minus alpha Z inverse plus beta Z to the power minus 2 minus Z to the power minus 3, then the coefficient we will consider as, first value is 1, plus second value coefficient of Z is plus 1, plus third value coefficient of Z is minus 2, so it will be minus 2, coefficient of Z equal is plus 3, so it will be plus 3, and in the denominator 1 minus alpha plus beta minus gamma. Okay, and all the Z component will be multiplied by plus 1 for low pass filter. So this is one Z component, first Z, where the Z established or the Z has present, so that will be multiplied by simply plus 1. That is also multiplied by plus 1, that is also multiplied by plus 1. Okay, in that way we will choose the DC component. So that DC component is needed to simply calculate the normalizing factor or the normalizing parameter. Okay, for that low pass filter, the DC component we are getting this, that is 2 by 1 minus alpha. So normalizing parameter will be the opposite of that, means 1 minus alpha by 2. That will be a normalizing parameter, and that will be multiplied by the 1 plus Z inverse 1 minus alpha Z inverse. So that will be your low pass filter, where the value of alpha is less than 1. Okay, clear to all of you? Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
So simply for that case, h e to the power j omega will be what? We are trying to calculate the magnitude response of the system. So what we will do, we will calculate simply h e to the power j omega, and mod of h we will calculate, and that will be the magnitude response of the filter. So that will be 1 minus alpha by 2, and simply 1 plus e to the power minus j omega, 1 minus alpha e to the power minus j omega, that will be the h, and simply represent e to the power minus j omega by cos omega minus j sin omega. And simply if we calculate mod h, it's a complicated calculation, so I'm not calculating. Just keep in mind what will be the result. The result will be h e to the power j omega, that square, that will be 1 minus alpha square by 2 multiplied by 1 plus cos omega by 1 minus 2 alpha cos omega plus alpha square for alpha less than 1. Okay. Okay, just wait 1 second. Okay, so that will be your value, magnitude square value will be that. And here simply if we represent the value of omega and alpha, then obviously alpha will be known, and the value of alpha must be less than 1. And if we represent the value of omega and alpha, then you will get a magnitude maximum obviously be 1, minimum obviously be 0 at pi. If we represent the value of pi, you can check it here. At, at pi it will be 0, because cos pi is minus 1. So my 1 minus 1 will be 0. So at pi it will be 0, and at 0 it will be 1. Okay. Now from 1 to, or simply from frequency value 0 to pi, the magnitude will monotonically decrease. Why it will monotonically decrease? To check it whether it is monotonically decreasing or not, to check that, simply what you will do, you will make derivative of that magnitude square. Simply if we calculate d h square by d omega, the value you will get is less than 0. Value is less than 0 means what? Dh square by d omega means a simple change in the h square. From here, if we consider a simple change or a very slight change, that value will be less than 0. Means what? It is always decrease. Always we will get the less than 0, it will always decrease. So you will get a curve like that. Okay. And you can choose the value of alpha from 0 to it will not choose for 0. You will choose obviously greater than 0 to less than 1. If we choose that value, you will get the responses like that. Just you need just you have to keep in mind, you don't need to draw that, because that will all the process will be done automatically whenever you will design the filter. So just you need to keep in mind that that type of response you will get if we consider a low pass filter with the characteristics parameter alpha as a value less than 1, and simply that characteristics curve will change, or simply it will reduce the frequency response depending the depending on the alpha value. Means if alpha value we reduce, then we'll get curve reducing like that. So that will be the simple characteristics of a IIR filter. Whenever after that, four type of filters: IIR, low pass, high pass, band pass, and band reject. You will give you some idea to design the filter. There you will see the characteristics. Whatever we are getting is like that. Okay. So just keep in mind, if we design an IIR filter, that type of characteristics you will get. And for this filter, what should be the omega c value? Omega c is called the cutoff frequency. Omega c must be that value for which you will get the magnitude 1 by root 2. Okay, so simply in that place here, simply if we represent omega by omega c, all the omega if we represent by omega c, then that value will be 1 by root 2 square, because h value will be 1 by root 2, so h square will be 1 by root 2 square, so that value will be 1 by root 2 square. And if we simply solve that parameter, we will get that omega c equal to cos inverse 2 alpha by 1 plus alpha square. Omega c will be cos inverse 2 alpha by 1 plus alpha square, or simply cos omega c will be 2 alpha by 1 plus alpha square. Okay, means what? The meaning is that if we simply represent the value of alpha, or if we know the value of alpha, we can calculate omega c. Okay, if we know the parameter alpha, we can calculate omega c. Okay, so omega c defines as the cutoff frequency. For that omega c, we can get also the 1 by root 2 range, means that point. So for a low pass filter, simply by calculating the value of omega c, we can consider that range of frequency to pass. Okay, so that is your low pass filter characteristics for a FI for the IIR range. Now simply, if we know the value of omega, simply if we know the value of omega c, suppose omega c is given pi by 2, consider omega c equal to pi by 2. that range is given, we have to design the simplest low pass filter, that will be IIR. So for that omega c, you need to calculate alpha. You know cos omega c equal to 2 alpha by 1 plus alpha square. From here, simply if we calculate alpha that you will get 1 plus minus sine omega c by cos omega c. That alpha value you will get. Okay. So alpha that we will consider 1 minus sine omega c by cos omega c. Can you tell me why? Simply cos omega c is equal to 2 alpha by 1 plus alpha square. From here we are calculating the omega, simply calculating the alpha value. That alpha value will be 1 plus minus sine omega c by cos omega c. And from here I am not considering the plus value, just I am considering the minus value. Can you tell me why? Anyone? Okay. It's a simple matter that already I have told you alpha value must be less than 1. So if we consider plus sign, if we replace the value of omega c, the alpha value, for this case you will always get the value greater than 1. And for the minus sign, the alpha value you will always get less than 1. Okay. So that is the reason we will choose alpha is equal to 1 minus sine omega c by cos omega c. So that alpha value you will get 1 minus sine omega c by cos omega c. And if we represent omega c by pi by 2, you will get the value of alpha. For this case, alpha value will be 1 minus sine omega c, that is sine pi by 2. Sine pi by 2 value is 1. So 1 minus 1, 0. And cos omega c is the cos pi by 2. Cos pi by 2 value is what? 0. So 0 by 0, it will be 0. Okay. So for this case, you are getting alpha equal to 0. So simply, if we consider the response Hz, you will get 1 minus 0, because in response was Hz equal to 1 minus alpha by 2, 1 plus z to the power minus 1 by 1 minus alpha z to the power minus 1. Okay, that was the response. So here if we consider alpha equal to 0, so 1 minus 0 by 2 into 1 plus z to the power minus 1 by 1 minus 0, because alpha equal to 0. So half of 1 plus z to the power minus 1 means what? If we can recapture the previous class, you can see this is a low pass filter which is FIR. It's a FIR low pass filter. Means what? That establishes that if we consider omega c within the range of pi, any value of omega c you can consider, you will get a FIR filter. Means For omega c value within the range pi, if we want to design, you don't need to consider the IIR filter. Simply if you can consider the FIR filter, because whenever you are considering the IIR filter, you need to consider the frequency response up to infinite range. But whenever you are considering the FIR filter, you can make it finite only from 0 to pi. Okay, for FIR you are considering only from 0 to pi, but for IIR you are not considering 0 to pi. Okay, so that you can easily design. So that is the characteristics of a low pass filter. So from the low pass filter, if you have any question, you can ask me. If you don't have any question, then simply that low pass filter is defined as the high pass filter if we simply represent z by minus z. So 1 plus z to the power minus 1, that will be 1 minus z to the power minus 1, and 1 minus alpha z to the power minus 1 will be 1 plus alpha z to the power minus 1. So that will be high pass filter. Okay. Now in that high pass filter, pole that you are getting minus alpha, because 1 plus alpha you have, so pole you are getting minus alpha, means whenever the plane you are considering, pole you are getting towards that side, means you need to choose now that part. But till now we have worked over that part, means for each and every case we have got the pole positive, so that is okay. There is no problem, there is no confusion that it is a high pass filter. But what we are trying to do, as we are operating considering always the positive half of the z plane, we in that case also want to consider the same, means we want to make the pole from minus alpha to plus alpha, keeping all the characteristics same. So what should we do? We will simply multiply that by a minus 1 multiplying constant to the DC coefficient. So for this case DC coefficient is 1 minus 1 by 1 plus alpha. Simply if we multiply by minus 1 the DC coefficient, what will it be? That will be minus 1. That 1 value will be multiplied by minus 1, and that alpha value will be multiplied by minus 1. Okay, so that will be 1 minus alpha by 2. uh, okay, we want to make, that is just make a correction, that was positive, so we want to make alpha equal to or p equal to plus alpha, means we want to make the pole alpha, means simply we will make this is minus 1, then we will consider the DC coefficient to keep all the parameters same. So this will be minus 1, so this will be minus 1. Okay, first we will make it by our choice, then we will change the DC coefficient, so it will remain the same. Means that parameter always neutralizing the total process, neutralizing to what it was. Okay, so now if we consider the DC coefficient and multiplying constant is -1, so it will be 1 minus 1 multiplied by minus 1, 1 minus alpha multiplied by minus 1, so it will be 1 plus alpha by 2, so that sign will be plus. So simply what we are getting, whenever we are changing that parameter is -1, we are getting the DC coefficient parameter is plus alpha. So if we make change this much, that will give you the high pass filter of same characteristics. But here the pole we are considering in the positive side. Okay, so you don't need to consider the negative part, because whenever you will consider the negative part, all the sequence you need to change, because whenever you are designing the positive part, you are considering the plus values. Now what you have to do, all the angle parameter you have to change into the minus value. Clear or not? In the filter, already I have told you, a filter is designed like that. If you consider the low pass filter, it is designed like that. We are considering only the positive part, and if we want to design the negative part, what you need to do, magnitude will remain the positive, but phase that was plus omega, that phase will be minus omega, means the phase will change. So whatever the equation we will get, for every value of omega we need to replace by minus omega, if we consider a pole towards that side. That is the reason we are making the pole towards positive side, keeping all the parameter, keeping all the characteristics same. Okay, so that will give you the high pass filter with the same characteristics, means 1 minus alpha by 2, 1 minus z inverse by 1 plus alpha z inverse. Result of that high pass filter and result of this high pass filter will be the same. Okay, now in the same way, if you want to calculate the magnitude response, what you should do, you should simply represent z by e to the power j omega. So 1 minus e to the power minus j omega, and by 1 minus of alpha e to the power minus j omega. From here, what you will do, again you will calculate the magnitude response, and in the same way, if you calculate the magnitude response, you will get cos omega c equal to 2 alpha by 1 plus alpha square, or alpha equal to 1 minus sine omega c by cos omega c. Same thing you will get, the magnitude, same magnitude you will get. So cutoff frequency will also be the same, so alpha parameter will also be the same. Okay, so this will be the characteristics of high pass filter, and if we simply multiply high pass filter and low pass filter, you will get your band pass filter. And for that case, I am not showing the calculations, simply I am writing hz equal to 1 minus z to the power minus 2, 1 minus beta 1 plus alpha z to the power minus 1 plus alpha z to the power minus 2. Okay, that will be multiplied by 1 minus alpha by 2, that is the normalizing factor, So that will be your IIR band pass filter. That you will get if we simply multiply one high pass filter with another low pass filter. That will be your high pass filter, and that will be your low pass filter. So if you multiply that high pass filter and low pass filter, you will get a band pass filter. And the response for the band pass filter will be this one. Okay. Now in that response, simply if we check the value of magnitude, you will get h e to the power j omega equal to 1 minus e to the power minus j 2 omega by 1 minus beta 1 plus alpha e to the power minus j omega plus alpha e to the power minus 2 or j 2 omega at omega equal to 0. At omega equal to 0, you will get that value 0, because at omega equal to 0 that will become 0, that will become 0. So e to the power 0, that is 1, so 1 minus 1 you will get 0. So magnitude at omega equal to 0 you will get 0. Similarly, at omega equal to pi, at omega equal to pi, what you will get? E to the power j 2 pi. So the upper term will be, I am not considering the lower term, 1 minus e to the power j 2 pi, or simply that expression you can write as 1 minus cos 2 pi minus j sin 2 pi within the third bracket. So the cos 2 pi value will be what? 1, sin 2 pi value will be 0. So denominator will give you 1 minus that one, denominator will be 0. So again result will be 0. Means for that response, the filter characteristics you are getting like that. At 0 you are getting 0, at pi you are getting 0. Okay, so filter response will be like that, somewhat like that. So in a specific value within 0 to pi, you will get your maximum range. Suppose at omega naught you will get your maximum range, and that maximum range will be obviously 1. So that omega naught you need to calculate, and obviously for this case you will get two frequency at 1 by root 2, one frequency defined as omega 1, another frequency defined as omega 2. So what will be the value of omega 1? What will be the value of omega 1? Anyone? Same will happen because we are simply multiplying the high pass filter and low pass filter, na? So simply you can write cos omega 1 equal to 2 alpha by 1 plus alpha square. For the high pass filter, for the low pass filter, we have got cos omega c, that is 2 alpha by 1 plus alpha square, and for high pass filter also cos omega c equal to 2 alpha by 1 plus alpha square. So obviously for band pass filter also you will get that value. Here you have got two omega c values, so it is defined as omega 1 and omega 2. So first omega 1 value as cos omega 1 will be 2 alpha by 1 plus alpha square. Second omega 2 value will also be cos pi minus omega 2, that is 2 alpha by 1 plus alpha square, or simply pi minus omega 1, omega 2 will be pi minus omega 1, that range pi minus omega 1. Okay, so that will be your cutoff frequencies. So obviously bandwidth will be omega 2 minus omega 1, and if you consider the range, that value will be 1 by root 2, 1 by root 2. And if you consider the range means the bandwidth, that bandwidth simply from here, if we calculate omega 2 minus omega 1, you will get omega 2 minus omega 1 value, that is omega 2 overall. So omega 2 minus omega 1 value you will get as cos inverse 2 alpha by 1 plus alpha square. So these are the parameter you need to keep in mind. You don't need to do the calculation, you don't need to consider the calculation. The parameter that you need to keep in mind, that type of characteristics you are getting. Okay, so up to that clear or not? তো তো কোনো রেসপন্স করছিস না, বুঝতে পারছি না, ক্লিয়ার হচ্ছে তো?
হ্যাঁ স্যার, বুঝতে পারছি।
আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে
স্যার, এই আগের যে ব্যান্ড পাস ফিল্টার আর
হ্যাঁ বল।
স্যার
হ্যাঁ বল।
বলছি আগের ব্যান্ড পাস ফিল্টার আর এই ব্যান্ড পাস ফিল্টারের ক্যালকুলেশন মোটামুটি একই তো?
হ্যাঁ, ফর বোথ ক্যালকুলেশনস আর
স্যার
সেম।
আগের ব্যান্ড পাস ফিল্টার এই ব্যান্ড একই?
একদমই, ক্যালকুলেশনস আর সেম। এখানে কি হচ্ছে, ইনফাইনাইট রেঞ্জ আসছে মানে তোর আমরা ডিনোমিনেটরও কনসিডার করছি, মিন্স উই আর কনসিডারিং দ্য পোলস অলসো, and depending on the poles we are
Yes,
doing
sir.
the same calculation. It will be little bit complicated related to FIR, but if you do the calculation you will get that type of result.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that is your band pass filter.
Yes, sir. Yes.
And if you do the band stop filter, what you will get? Simply you will multiply, or simply what you will do, you will change the sign of the low pass filter and you will change the sign of the high pass filter, and if you multiply both you will get your band stop filter. Because as I have told you in the last class, band pass filter is the multiplication of
High pass and low pass.
high pass and this is low pass. So if you want to calculate the band stop filter, make that high pass filter low pass filter, means Z replaced by minus Z for this high pass filter, and for this low pass filter again replace Z by minus Z. So you will get this is low pass filter, you will get this is low pass filter, and this is high pass filter. So this will be your band stop filter. Okay, and for this band stop filter, if we consider the magnitude response as we have considered for band pass filter, the magnitude or simply the transfer function first, the transfer function you will get as 1 minus 2 beta z inverse plus z to the power minus 2 by 1 minus 2 beta z inverse, sorry, 1 minus beta 1 plus alpha z inverse plus alpha z to the power minus 2, and the normalizing parameter will be 1 plus alpha by 2. So that will give you the, I'm not going in detail, that will give you the band stop filter. And simply if we represent z by e to the power j omega, and if we calculate the magnitude, and if we make the responses, you will get cos omega naught equal to beta. Cos omega naught equal to beta. What is omega naught? Omega naught is the frequency where the magnitude, uh, you are getting 0. Omega naught is the frequency where the magnitude you are getting 0. So in that response, so in that response, from that response, if you calculate mod AH, whatever the response you will get, to that response if we replace beta by cos omega naught, obviously by knowing the value of omega naught, if we replace cos omega naught in the place of beta, the magnitude you will get 0. Okay, so that will be your band stop filter. Okay, so simply if I ask you, if omega naught is given pi by 2 and b equal to pi by 4, what will be the response of the band stop filter? What will be the response of the band stop filter? If I ask you, so omega naught is equal to pi by 2, so beta equal to 0, because cos pi by 2 equal to 0, so beta you will get 0. And b is called the bandwidth. Bandwidth, you know the value of bandwidth is 2 alpha by 1 plus alpha square, that is equal to 1 by root 2. That will be 1 by root 2. And from here, simply if we calculate alpha, what is the value of alpha? Root 2 minus 1. Okay. From here, if we calculate alpha, alpha will be root 2 minus 1. So value of alpha you know, value of beta you know. In that expression, simply if we represent alpha and beta, beta will be 0. That term will be eliminated. That term will be eliminated. So response will be 1 plus z to the power minus 2 by 1 plus root 2 minus 1 z to the power minus 2. That will be your response. That will satisfy for omega equal to pi by 2 and b equal to pi by 4. Okay. So that is your 4 type of filters, that is high pass, low pass, band stop. So that are the characteristics. So up to that, if you have any question, you can ask me. Okay, then so basically what we are getting, we are considering a transfer function, or simply in the next session, or simply in the next point, whenever we will try to design a analog filter, or simply analog low pass filter, whenever we will try to design analog low pass filter, keep in mind the response will considered as like that. That is, I am writing in the spatial domain, keep in mind, because whenever you will represent the response in your coding, the response you have to represent in spatial domain. That spatial domain will be Fourier transformed to the frequency domain. Then you are getting whatever the value of hz or h to the power j omega, whatever you have considered up to that, that you will get. So simply the response that you will consider, that will be in spatial domain, and that response will be a square a to the power n minus 1 s to the power n minus 1. S to the power n plus a to the power a n minus 1 s to the power n minus 1 plus a n minus 2 s to the power n minus 2 plus a1 s plus a naught. That will be in the denominator, and numerator will be a constant value that you will get. Now why you are considering like that? Simply if we design the analog filter, you can get it. Okay, and depending on that response, what you will have to measure is that a pass band range and a stop band range. At frequency omega, that is your stop band range, that is your pass band range, and that is 1. Keep in mind that omega is called the capital omega, as we are considering the low pass filter, and which is analog, so we will consider capital omega. For digital, or for simply discrete, we will consider the small omega. So for this case, that will be one parameter, that is the pass band attenuation, and that will be one parameter, that will be stop band attenuation. Okay, for pass band attenuation means how much flickering or how much range we are going to pass it. If the filter is like that, just wait 1 minute. আরে এ তো আমাদের চুপচাপ বসে, চিৎকার তো তোমরা করছো। এ তো এ চুপচাপ শুয়ে ছিল, সারাক্ষণ তোমাদের কথা আমার কানে আসছে। আমি কি করব? বাবা কালটা করছে, বাবা তো চুপই স্টপ হচ্ছেই না। বাবাকে বলছি, বাবা তো চুপই করছে না। আমাকে বলে কি হবে? বলে না, বলে তুমি কথা বলো না। Okay, so simply if we design the filter like that, that will be your pass band, that will be your stop band. So maximum allowable range will be that part. Okay, and maximum attenuated range, or simply cancelled range, will be that part, and obviously this part will be your transition band. Okay, your aim will always be to reduce that band. As much as you reduce, at that much error will be less, and that range for omega p, that is the pass band frequency, is defined as the 1 minus delta p. That is called the pass band attenuation. Pass band attenuation, and that is defined as delta s, called the stop band attenuation. So these are the parameter that will be provided. Keep in mind, whenever you will going to design a transfer function of a filter, that will be provided omega p, omega s, delta p, delta s. Depending on that transfer function, depending on the parameters, you need to generate that transfer function. So that will be your m, that will be provided, and from here h z or h e to the power j omega, that you need to calculate. So I think it is clear, whenever you are going to design the low pass filter, what will be provided and what you are going to design. Clear? Any question?
স্যার
হ্যাঁ বল।
স্যার এইগুলো সেই অর্ডার অফ দ্য ফিল্টার, তারপর ওগুলো বার করার জন্য ইউজ হতো ওমেগা পি ওমেগা এস, এই করিয়েছিলেন ওইগুলো কি?
ওইগুলোই এগুলো, ওটা স্টার্ট করে এখান থেকে আরো ডিটেলে যাব।
আচ্ছা স্যার, বুঝলাম স্যার।
তো সবার এটা ক্লিয়ার? এভরিওয়ান শুড মেক ইট ক্লিয়ার দ্যাট হোয়াট এভার উইল বি প্রোভাইডেড। So then, consider the first type of low pass filter called the Butterworth filter. That is the analog filter that you are going to design, the Butterworth low pass filter. Butterworth low pass filter. So we are going to start from the transfer function and we are going to end whatever will be provided. Okay, so that is basically the back process, and whenever we are going to design that transfer function, the result will be given. Clear? So the transfer function for a simple Butterworth low pass filter is given as h a j omega square, that will be 1 by 1 plus omega by omega c to the power 2n. That will be the transfer function of the Butterworth filter, where omega defines the frequency and that omega c defines the cutoff frequency. N defines the order of the filter. Okay, so if we simply change the order of the filter, depending on that, transfer function will also change, and how the change will happen, that we are going to check it now. Now all of we know that at cutoff frequency the magnitude is 1 by root 2. So if we consider simply omega equal to omega c, if we consider omega equal to omega c, then omega c will be cancel out 1, so that will be 1 to the power 2n, so 1, so 1 by 2, that is your magnitude square, so magnitude will be 1 by root 2. So that is for cutoff frequency, magnitude at cutoff frequency, means that whatever the filter order is, filter order 1 2 3 4, whatever the order you can consider, at omega c all the frequency At omega c, all the magnitude is defined by 1 by root 2. Meaning is that that is your omega, that is your magnitude, that is your cutoff frequency omega c, that is your 1 by root 2. So what will happen? Simply all the filter will pass. All the filter will pass through that point. That is one. That is the point you are getting. That is the magnitude of that point is 1 by root 2 and the frequency is omega c. So whatever the filter you will design, always it will pass through that point. Okay. And that is the order of the filter. Simply if we increase the order of the filter, the transition band will also reduce. Obviously for this case, whatever the transition band will be, you can check it. Simply if we draw a line like that, for this case, that will be a transition band for that filter. But wherever you are increasing the order of the filter, you can check it, the transition band is reducing. You are increasing the order of the filter, the transition band is reducing. Means to reduce the transition band, you need to increase the order of the filter. But matter is that whenever you will increase the order of the filter complexity will be very high, or the complexity of the filter will increase. Check it how. Check it how the complexity of the filter will increase.
Nice time.
We have h a j omega square as 1 by 1 plus omega by omega c to the power 2n, that we have. Okay. Now mod ha j omega square means what? Obviously that you have to represent in spatial domain. To represent by manually, if we represent it in the spatial domain, then s equal to j omega will represent s. So h j omega square simply we represent as h s square, and if we represent hs, so that is your cutoff frequency fix omega c, that you cannot change, that the frequency that you are changing, that omega, so that omega will be represented by s equal to j omega, so omega equal to s by j, or simply if we make 2 inside the bracket, so h square by j square by omega c square, j square value is -1, so a by j whole square, that will be minus a square, so minus a square. If we make 2 in the inside, and omega c will be omega c square. Clear? So that you are getting. And what is the meaning of h a of s square? Meaning of that, you have the s domain, that total circle defines your s domain, and within that domain total magnitude you are getting HA square. That means one magnitude will be obviously in that positive side, another magnitude will be in the negative side, simply by changing the phase. If magnitude you are getting suppose 5, then and 5 plus minus 3j, suppose, just for example, so that will be your HA square. HA square. So one value will give you 5 plus 3j, 5 plus 3j HAS. If HAS gives you 5 plus 3j, another value, that will be minus s, because if one side is defined by HS, another side will be defined by H minus s, simply change in phase. Okay, that means what I am trying to say, HA square you can write as HA of s multiplied by HA of minus s. So that is your tensor function, that is equal to this. If we simply calculate the poles, suppose আমি আরো সিম্পলি ম্যাথটা দেখাচ্ছি, সাপোজ 1 by z minus 1 z minus 2, that is a transfer function. So from that transfer function what you will do, you will simply calculate the poles. Z equal to 1,
পার্শিয়াল ফ্র্যাকশন করতে হবে,
no, that is
z equals to 2.
that is another thing. I am not going to that. I am simply
না স্যার
trying to,
ডাইরেক্টলিও করা যায়, মানে দেখে বোঝা যাবে।
okay, whatever the technique you need to use, that you will use. I am not going to that point. I am just saying that that means you have z equal to 1 and z equal to 2, two poles that you need to consider to present the domain, S domain. Okay, and if we
Yes sir.
simply calculate HAS and HA of minus s, you will get some pole in the positive side and exactly replica in the negative side. So one side will be defined by HS, another side will be defined by H of minus s. Okay, that I am going to say, that I am trying to say. So to do that, what you have to do, simply from here you need to calculate the poles. Simply you need to calculate the poles. Poles means s by omega c, 1 plus s by omega c whole to the power 2n. Here means you have to calculate the s by omega c, that are the poles you will get. So if you want to calculate that, how can you? That will be equal to 0. So minus a square by omega c square whole to the power n, that will be equal to minus 1. To calculate the poles, that must be equal to 0. That is the process we know. So minus 1 is defined as e to the power j 2k minus 1 by 2k minus 1 into pi. Here if we replace the value of k is 1 to n, replace any value of k between 1 to a positive integer n, the value you will always get minus 1. Okay, so we can represent it by that term. So from here, simply if we consider the n to that side, that n will be by n, and from here if we simply calculate s by omega c, or if we simply calculate s square, that will be minus that minus towards that side, omega c square will be towards that side. So minus omega c square exponential j 2k minus 1 pi by n. So from here s will be what? Minus 1 root of minus 1. Root of minus 1 is plus minus j root of omega c square, that is omega c root of that square means that will be 2n e to the power j 2k minus 1 pi by 2n. So that will be your s. So that are the poles. Okay. So or simply s by omega c, that will be your poles, and that will be defined as plus minus j e to the power j 2k minus 1 pi by 2n. So you are getting one positive poles, some poles that are positive and exactly replica to the negative side of the same poles. J e to the power j 2k minus 1 pi by 2n, that are all the positive poles, and the replica of that you are getting in the negative side. Now always we have considered poles in the positive half. Okay, here we will check which pole we should consider so that the magnitude we will get positive or negative. Simply, if we consider the positive sign, that positive sign will correspond to the left hand side pole. Okay, if we consider to the positive sign, that positive sign will consider the left hand side poles. We can check it. You should not believe whatever I am saying. Always you will try to prove it. So you should prove it that if we consider s by omega c, or simply s equal to plus that term, you will get the poles in the left hand side. How? Check it. S, as we are considering k equal to 0 to n minus 1, we are representing s by sk. Okay, both are same, just we are representing s by sk, because when k equal to 1, s1, when k equal to n, sn, like that, and we will see that s1 to sn all values are minus 1. So that is the reason we are considering sk, nothing else. Sk, that is equal to j, we are considering the positive part, omega c, and e to the power that term we are representing by cos and sine. So obviously cos 2k minus 1 pi by 2n plus j sine 2k minus 1 pi by 2n. So that will be your sk. Or simply, if we multiply j to the within the bracket values, so that will be j square, so that will be minus 1, so minus of sine, that will be your real part, and j cos of that will be your imaginary part. টান, ওটা টান, টানলেই খুলে যাবে, টান দাদুরা টান, হ্যাঁ যা। Okay, so if we simply multiply j, that will be j square. So j square of sine of this means minus sine of that part will be your real part, and multiplying after j, multiplying j, that will be your imaginary part. So I am writing the real part and imaginary part like that. Omega c minus sine 2k minus 1 pi by 2n, that will be your real part, and then plus j cos 2k minus 1 pi by 2n, that will be your imaginary part. Okay, so sk real, the real part of sk is minus of omega c sine 2k minus 1 pi by 2n. We are calculating the magnitude, that is mod h. So we will check the real part of sk. Now that real part of sk is positive or negative, that will define. Omega c is a constant value, so that part is negative, and sk is positive or negative, that will define that sine term. If that sine term is positive, then sk will be negative. If the sine term is negative, the negative multiplied, it will be multiplied, it will become the positive, sk will be positive. So that sine term is positive or negative. We know that k is varying from 1 to n. So the sine term may have sine for k equal to 1 and sine for k equal to n. So if we represent k equal to 1, that will be minimum term, and if we represent k equal to n, that will be the maximum term of sine. So minimum term for k equal to 1 defines as sine 2 into 1 minus 1 into pi, that is pi by 2n. That is the minimum term sine, or the minimum angle you are getting pi by 2n. Similarly, maximum angle when k equal to n, that will be sine 2n minus 1 pi by 2n. So that will be your maximum angle. So you can check that both the angle are within the range of pi. How? Because 1 by 2n into pi, this is 1 by 2n into pi. Value of 1 by 2n is always less than 1. So if we multiply pi by less than 1 value, it will remain within 0 to pi. Right? Simply if we multiply pi by 0.5, it will be pi by 2. So if we multiply pi by less than 1 value, it will always remain 0 to pi. Again, 2n minus 1 by 2n, that will also be less than pi, or for a very large value of n, that may be 1. For a very large value of n, that may be 1. So if it is 1, then also angle is pi. So that means the range of the angle should never be more than pi. So the range will remain within 0 to pi. That means what? If we consider the quadrant model means that is your first quadrant defined by all part, that is the sine part, that is the tan part, that is the cos part, all sine tan cos, that all of you know. Whenever we have done the numerical expression, we know that that is the all sine tan cos. So if that is pi by 2, that is pi, that is 3 pi by 2, that is 2 pi or 0. So if any angle remains within that part, that gives you the positive result. Any angles remain to that part, sine value gives you always positive part. Here tan value always gives you positive part, and here cos value always gives you positive part. Else that you will get the negative part or the negative sign. So the range you have from 0 to pi. For all the values of k from 0 to n, the angle range you are getting from 0 to pi means that you have sine, so the value will always be positive. Whatever the value it will always be positive. Means what? Minus omega c is multiplied by a positive value. If minus omega c is multiplied by a positive value, means sk real that you are getting is always negative. Okay, so the sk real that you are getting is always negative term. Just keep in mind that. So whenever we are going calculating the positive poles or considering the positive poles, the magnitude that you are the response that you are getting in the negative part. Okay, so we are considering sk by omega c as minus of sine 2k minus 1 pi by 2n plus j cos of 2k minus 1 pi by 2n for k equal to 0 to n minus 1. Sk was that simply multiplied by omega c. That term I have written like that. So that is your main equation. Keep in mind. That is your main equation. I have told you we have considered the positive pole p equal to alpha. In the place of minus alpha, you have considered the p equal to alpha. মনে আছে তো? That is the reason I have considered the positive part here, and depending on that positive part, we are getting the response like that. So that is your main expression to calculate the value of the simply the value of transfer function h. If we consider hz, then hz, if we consider h e to the power j omega, then h e to the power j omega. So that we will represent in the s domain. So here we will calculate hs. Then simply do the FFT, you will get the hz. Okay. So hs will be what? Depending on the transfer simply order. For n equal to 1. Now check it very clearly. Whenever you have got that equation, check it clearly. For n equal to 1, what will be the value of sk by omega c? For n equal to 1, sk by omega c. Anyone? For n equal to 1, what is the value of k? K varies from 1 to, not 0 to, keep in mind. 1 to n. So for n equal to 1, what is the value of k? Only 1. For n equal to 2, value of k is 1 and 2. For n equal to 2, value of k is 1, 2, 3, like that. So for n equal to 1, value of k is what? 1. So replace in that expression the value of k 1 and value of n 1. So minus of sine pi by 2. Minus of sine pi by 2. Plus j cos pi by 2. cos pi by 2 value is 1, sin pi by 2 cos pi by 2 value is 0, sin pi by 2 value is 1, so it will be minus 1. So sk by omega c minus 1 equal to 0. So that will be your denominator value for the tensor function when we are considering n equal to 1. Simple. Because if this is your transfer function, from here we are getting the pole expression like that. P minus 1 equal to 0 you are considering. From here you are considering p equal to 1. Here p equal to 1 is given, means sk by omega c is given. From here p minus 1 you have calculated by sk by omega c minus that term you have considered, and that is your 1 by that is your transfer function. So your transfer function simply h s will be what? 1 by sk by omega c minus 1, or simply omega c by sk minus omega c. That is your transfer function in S domain. So for a first order filter, that is your omega c, and that is your hs. Keep in mind, that is your first order filter. Now if you consider the second order filter, if we consider the second order filter, for second order filter n equal to 2, means k will be 1 and 2. So sk1 you will get by omega c, or simply you can write s1 by omega c. That is your first pole will be what? Simply if we represent the value, I am not calculating again. Simply first put the value of k equal to 1, n equal to 2, you will get the value of s1 by omega c. Again put the value k equal to 2, n equal to 2, you will get up s2 of omega c, and you can check the value you are getting 1 by root 2 minus 1 by root 2 plus minus j 1 by root 2. s1 will be minus 1 by root 2 plus j, s2 will be minus 1 by root 2 minus j. Okay, so these are the two poles. So what will be the transfer function for order 2? 1 by s by omega c minus s by omega c plus 1 by root 2. What are the poles? Are clearly boy. S1 that you are getting minus 1 by root 2 plus j 1 by root 2. That means S1 plus 1 by root 2 minus j 1 by root 2. That is one term of the denominator, and S2 that you are getting by putting k value 2, n value 2 is minus 1 by root 2 minus j 1 by root 2. So that will be your second term, and that will be defined as S2 1 by root 2 and plus j 1 by root 2 0. So that will be your second term. So simply first term we are writing as s 1 by root 2 minus j 1 by root 2, and second is that will be omega c you will get for both case. So s by omega c plus 1 by root 2 minus plus j 1 by root 2. That will be your transfer function h is for order 2. Clear or not? Simply if you multiply this, you will get omega c square by a square plus root 2 omega cs plus omega c square. That will be transfer function for the second order. So check transfer function for the first order, that is the transfer function for the first order, transfer function for the second order. Complication is increasing. If you calculate transfer function for the third order, complication will increase more. Okay.
ও স্যার আবার জয়েন করেছেন?
আজকে ইন্টারনেটে খুব সমস্যা হচ্ছে গো।
হ্যাঁ সেটাই তো দেখছি।
মেক করলে এরকম সমস্যাটা হয়, আমাকে অনেকবার লেফট হতে হলো।
আচ্ছা আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে, কতদূর বুঝেছিস বলতো?
ওই তো স্যার সেকেন্ড অর্ডার ফিল্টারে যেটা ডিজাইন করছি ট্রান্সফার ফাংশনটাও, ওখানে শুধু স্যার ওই ভ্যালুগুলো পুট করে আর ক্যালকুলেট করতে হবে বেসিক্যালি, তাই তো?
সিম্পলি s1 s2 ভ্যালু পুট করবি, ঠিক আছে? s1 ফর s1 কি হচ্ছে n equal to 2, for second order n equal to 2, s1 will be k equal to 1, s2 will be k equal to 2. So for this case you will get result like that. Okay, so first value will be this one, and second value will be this one. So these two parameter will be two denominator for two different poles. Two different poles you are getting here. Okay, so
স্যার আপনি যে স্ক্রিনে দেখাচ্ছেন,
ওফ স্ক্রিনটাও আউট হয়ে গেছে না,
হ্যাঁ স্যার।
নেট প্রবলেম হলেই এক কেস হয়।
হ্যাঁ স্যার এই নেট প্রবলেমই হচ্ছে মনে হচ্ছে, মাঝে মাঝে স্যার আপনার কথাগুলো কেটে কেটে যাচ্ছে।
আর এই আজকে আবার মেঘলা করেছে তার উপর।
হ্যাঁ স্যার।
দেখতে পাচ্ছিস স্ক্রিন?
হ্যাঁ স্যার দেখতে পাচ্ছি।
S1
হ্যাঁ স্যার এরপর দেখতে পাচ্ছি।
আচ্ছা, so simply what you will do, গ্রিনে করি বুঝতে পারবি। Simply what you will do, that is your equation. I have told you for n equal to 2, means say for second order equation what will be the transfer function. The aim is you need to know the transfer function so that you can design the filter. So you need to do the calculate the transfer function. So from that expression, if we replace simply n equal to 2, for n equal to 2, k equal to 1 and 2. For n equal to 2, k equal to 1 and 2. Because k varies from 1 to n. So k will be 1, 2. So if we replace k equal to 1, you will get s1 by omega c. S1 by omega c, S1 by omega c, you will get that value minus 1 by root 2 plus j 1 by root 2. Okay, and if we calculate for k equal to 2, you will get s2 value, s2 by omega c will be minus 1 by root 2 minus j 1 by root 2. Okay, so two poles that you are getting minus 1 by root 2 plus j 1 by root 2 and minus 1 by root 2 minus j 1 by root 2. Depending on these two poles, your transfer function simply what is that? S by omega c plus 1 by root 2, that plus become minus j 1 by root 2, that is expression for one pole, and expression for second pole is that S by omega c plus 1 by root 2, and that minus become plus j 1 by root 2. These are the two expression. Okay, and simply if we multiply these two, you will get a expression a square plus root 2 omega c s plus omega c square, and in the numerator you will get omega c square. So that will get that you will get for n equal to 2. That is the second order Butterworth filter transfer function. Okay, so this is for first order, this is for second order. So simply check it. If we change the order of the filter from lower to higher, complexity is increasing. Okay, now if we want to simply calculate seventh order filter, replace n equal to 7 here. So k will be 1 2 3 4 5 7. So 7 number of s we will get. So s by omega c, my whatever the value of first value, that will be 1, then 2 3 4, এরকম 7 number of multiplication will be there in the denominator. So complexity will increase more. So that we have to keep in mind, that whenever we will design the Butterworth filter, we will consider the minimum transfer function or the minimum order of the filter, so that the transfer function satisfies our result. Means if we simply can do the problem by considering n equal to 2, we don't need to consider n equal to 4. Clear? So that is, in that way you can simply calculate the Butterworth filter transfer function by considering the different order. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so up to that you just check it. After that again I will go forward. So you can try it for third order filter also at your home, so it will be more clear to all of you.